Hello everyone, in this video I want to talk about something I'm sure resonates with many natural lifters who were once very passionate about the gym. I'm talking of course about lifting burnout. More and more I catch myself dreading gym sessions. It takes me a ton of effort just to show up to the gym. The workouts are difficult, I feel lazy, I feel lethargic, and the weight feels heavier and heavier from session to session. What was once the highlight of my day has now become an almost unbearable task. And I feel like I'm toiling away day in and day out just to get no reward in return. If this sounds all too familiar, you, my friend, are experiencing lifting burnout. When you first started lifting, it was idyllic. You were getting bigger, you were getting stronger. The workouts were fun, and seeing your physique change from teenage dad bod to 2012 Justin Bieber was exhilarating, to say the least. That initial feeling of pride and competence you felt after beating your first PR, after seeing some semblance of definition, cannot be matched. The best I ever felt about my physique was about 7 to 8 months into lifting. Even though the change I'd made was insignificant, relatively speaking, considering all the progress I'd made since then in my now almost a decade of lifting, that initial change represented a complete overhaul of what I thought was possible. I was now fully convinced that I could be the next Mr. Olympia if I put in enough effort. But the excitement and the novelty of lifting are long gone, and likely many of your gym buddies have either quit the gym entirely or are not training as regularly because they're satisfied with their physiques and are now maintaining, as they say. And although you're not ready to quit yet, the lack of progress, the repetitive nature of training, the lack of good company in the gym, and the same environment have all but made you quit the gym entirely. And you've likely fallen for the trap of thinking that the reason you're getting diminished returns is because you're slowly approaching your genetic limit. But since you're watching this video, I'm sure you still have some hope that you can make your vision of having a marble statue physique a reality. So do not despair, because I'm sharing what I believe is the single most important factor in driving your progress as a natural lifter. That is not a training principle, not a dieting hack, not a technique tip, but rather a simple mindset shift that you can implement immediately that will hopefully reignite your passion for training and re-inspire you to keep chasing after your goal physique. Okay, first, I want you to think back when you first started lifting. As you reminisce about the good old days of being a 180-pound pencil neck sat in front of your device, watching Machiavelli motivation videos on YouTube as you shovel human kibble down your throat and fantasize about all the gains you're about to make after an excruciating session of Athlean-X approved supinated goblet curls followed by 15 sets of face pulls, and giving everybody doing upright rows the stink eye, realize that the main reason you're not enjoying training as much as you did when you first started lifting is because you still expect to maintain the same pace of progression as you did when you first started lifting. As a newbie lifter, just showing up to the gym and doing whatever, fooling around in the gym can work. But as you approach the intermediate stage of your lifting journey, just fooling around and doing whatever workout and improvising your sessions does not work. You have to start working out intelligently and with intention. The second reason I'd say most of you don't enjoy training as much as you did when you first started lifting is because you've overly romanticized the training process. In other words, you still fully expect your training to look like one of those aforementioned training montages. And the hard truth, the bitter pill to swallow, is that training is not that. It is not an epic compilation of trend-fueled savagery, screaming, nosebleeds, and doing the most absurd lifts imaginable. It is repetition, sharpening your sword day in and day out for years on end. That's how you become great. So to fall in love with training, you'll have to fall in love with that process. And since lifting is a lifelong endeavor of gradual improvement, your approach has to be holistic as well. Just focusing all of your efforts onto intense gym sessions is not enough. You have to approach training intelligently and with intent. I'm not talking about progressive overload, intensity, zeroing in on your nutrition, or getting 8 hours of sleep either. Those are all important, vital even, but they're only a means to an end, methods which you utilize to achieve your goal. But what drives your progress towards that goal is your frame of mind, and the correct mindset to have is one of continuous growth. What you have to realize is that there is no limit to improvement. There's no natural limit. I don't care what the juice heads and the science nerds say. I do not believe that there is some arbitrary point at which your body flat out refuses to add on a single pound of muscle, irrespective of how much effective training you do or how many calories you intake. That will never happen. But what you also have to realize is, since your ability to improve is not limited, you'll never reach 100% in anything. The only thing you can do is get better. And in actuality, the only thing that is limited is your time to strive towards whatever your goals are. As far as you're concerned, you have an unlimited pool of resources at your disposal, but the time you have to utilize those resources is very limited. So it is up to you to utilize as much as you can with your every effort. When I was young, I had an art teacher who shared a very profound piece of wisdom with me. He said that a painting is never done. You only stop adding to it. I say that to say this: you'll see continuous progress when you understand that progress is limitless, but your ability to progress is not. It is extremely short. So with every effort, do as much as you can, knowing you could have done more. I see some poetic beauty in that. And with that, I conclude the video. Thank you for watching.